That was shared with us by, I think we've lost her. Is it just us, Spencer?
Yeah, it looks like she left.
I mean, I can keep chatting with you.
I mean, since this is being recorded,
Okay,
did they want you to just do the whole presentation?
let's do
Uh,
it.
I,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch.
Well, you can tap out if you want to, because if I have a, you know, if I have a glitch, it doesn't affect any attendees. So
Yeah.
I can just go through it. It's no problem.
Well, I'm recording too, so I'll just stay.
Okay. Good. Okay. Well, thank you so much. All
No
right.
problem.
So we'll just pop back in, and I'm going to share my screen again just for our PowerPoint. All right, so our fire science program, and it's an associate's degree. So it's we expect that it's done in 2 years. Certainly, certainly a student could take longer to do that. We're finding some students, the current students that we have are doing the 2 fire science core classes and just waiting on some of their general education classes. They'll take a little bit longer than 2 years to do that, but it's a model that works just fine. It's preparing students for a career in the fire service as well as for career advancement, as I was mentioning. One of the things that the fire chiefs that we're working with really wanted is that we could start to help support students in the testing process. The fire service is a pretty rigorous application process and pretty rigorous testing process. And one of the things that our classes do and the faculty members that we have right now are really setting their sights on helping students become successful at the testing process. And so I know some of our faculty members are chiefs or retired chiefs in this region, and they're really making it their mission to help young men and women who want to be firefighters. And they're spending a lot of extra time just working through interview coaching processes. So again, it's really great. It's helping those who just kind of sort of think that fire is a good idea. And again, it is a fantastic job. It's really a fantastic career to get into, but it's also helping those folks who are already working as firefighters. We've got a pretty comprehensive curriculum right now. And again, it's taught by the subject matter experts. So it's current firefighters or police officers for the legal aspects of emergency services class. It's fire chiefs, it's training officers who are working in as faculty members and really helping the students to understand their career and how to be successful in that career. The curriculum that we're using is set by the national standards. And the reason that we chose that is just to have a lot of consistency in classes. So students who have maybe studied in another state at a different college can transfer into our program with little hiccup at all. They can just transfer right in and utilize the credits that they have already taken. Our time commitment right now, so we've got 2 classes of fire science content each quarter, and then our recommendation is up to 1 general education class. To get a degree, to be well-rounded in the academic system, you've got to have the general education requirements. So everyone needs at least a math and an English and a science, etc. And so there are still those general education classes as well. So our model for the 2-year degree program is 2 fire science classes plus up to 1 general education class. Certainly somebody motivated to do it faster could do more than that. We don't recommend too much more than that because you really want to get a lot out of each class that you take. We're finding that we've got a lot of students who already have some college class. Maybe you've taken some running start classes. And so those general education classes that you've already taken will fit into this degree program nicely. But again, we do have some students who really only have time for one class at a time, and they'll just take longer to complete the degree. But it's no problem at all. So what are some of the things that you learn? Yep, I see it. Thank you so much.
So this is the correct slide.
Yep, so I was at where do I learn? And then it pops over to the copy of the program planning guide. Here we go. Perfect. Thank you so much, Spencer.
You're welcome.
So yeah, this just outlines what I was speaking of. You've got our general education requirements. So there's English, a math class, a natural world class, interpersonal communications, and then intercultural communication. And honestly, we left this very vague on purpose. We do know that for a well-rounded degree, you need an English and a math and a science. We suggest a lab science because there's a possibility you're going to transfer it into a bachelor's degree. And we want some communications class, interpersonal or intercultural communications. But the reason it's vague is because maybe you're coming to us with college credits already, right? Maybe you took Running Start and you've got some classes, and we want to say, yes, that counts as much as we can. So a little bit vague, but I'm happy to just work with you through any questions that you have about I've already got credits, does it count for anything? Then we've got our core degree requirements, and we just took, again, these all from the national standard. So many of the colleges are teaching these classes, and ours, again, are theory-based. So because this is a brand new program, what we've done is in the fall quarter, we did Fire 101 and 102. It was principles of fire and emergency services, and then fire behavior and combustion. Currently, we're in the winter quarter, so we're in our second quarter, and we're doing building construction and principles of fire and emergency services, safety and survival. Spring is coming up, and that'll be the one that you're eligible to enroll in, and that will be fire prevention and legal aspects of emergency services. So though it's fantastic to start in the fall and start with Fire 101, Intro to Emergency Services, you really could start anywhere you wanted to. So you would be welcome to enroll for the spring quarter if you wanted to do that. And there's just a lot of value in that. But if you're still in high school now, certainly pay attention to that and just really focus on having fun at the end here and working through your degree requirements, and then start in the fall with 101, and you'll just get a really good basis for that degree program. Again, it's 2 years. The first summer, we recommend an internship. And that's just something that's one of the coolest features of our program is we are partnering with some of the regional fire departments and lots of opportunities. Of course, you're not going to be in fire suppression as an intern. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to learn. You're going to be learning and training and on the drill ground, maybe in fire investigation or fire inspections. Seattle Fire Department has a cadet and a youth cadet program that are just phenomenal programs if you wanted to learn more about Seattle Fire and the fire service. And we're working out some articulation agreements to count that for your internship credit. Our recommendation is that you take the EMT class, which is one of the requirements at the end of this program. But certainly if you wanted to start working as an EMT sooner, if you wanted to work as an EMT while you were taking fire classes, you could just front load that and take EMT first, start working as an EMT, and then take these college classes. And so it's really a great way to do that. Next slide, please. So our program, it includes that internship component, and what we do with that internship is we really want to make sure that the internship is meaningful work. So you're not going to be stuck with clerical duties. You're not going to be stuck just filing at a fire department. It's got to be a meaningful experience for you and something you can really draw from, put on your resume, and something that you can draw from to talk about in your interview process. You'll really do a great job with networking. You'll meet some people, and you'll find some fantastic mentors in that internship program. Next, please. All right. I know I mentioned that our curriculum is based on the National Fire Academy Fire and Emergency Services Higher Education Model Curriculum. It is a standalone associate's degree program. So you could take the associate's degree program and just finish that here at North Seattle College. But we also think that additional learning pathways are important. Maybe you don't, maybe you're not really thinking about anything past 2 years. You just want to get a good job, and fire sounds pretty cool. And again, it really is a phenomenal career, but there are some educational pathways that you can work on just a little bit later. So you start at North Seattle and get your fire science associate's degree. There is a Homeland Security Emergency Management program. There's a fire science leadership management program at Pierce College. And then we articulate into, and we can transfer into other programs. I know that Seattle Fire and Pierce College are working towards some agreements It's nothing set in stone yet, but they're having conversations with Central Washington University and Washington State University about how to have some bachelor's degree programs that you could grow into as well. Next, please. All right, our EMT, I want to touch on this super briefly. EMT is a requirement for the fire science degree. All firefighters in this region are EMTs, and so it is something that you will need. Some of the fire departments in this region require EMT prior to you hiring them. A few of them will train you once you get hired, but most require that you've got that EMT as well. Again, EMT really is a great, it's a great job. It's a great job that you can have while you're in school and you're working with firefighters. You would probably start as an EMT working for an ambulance, but then you're going to fire calls, you're going to car accidents, you're going to medical emergencies, meeting with firefighters to take their patient, and then you transport them off to the hospital. North is the only EMT class in King County that's college-based. King County Public Health does host one, but you have to be currently involved with fire or emergency services for that as well, with the exception of some scholarships that they have that are called STAR. It's a STAR program, a recruitment program. And if you emailed me, I'd be happy to share that information with you as well. But North does have one and is the only EMT class that you can get into without already being affiliated with an agency. We offer that every quarter. We do have pretty rigorous standards for getting into that, but happy to work with you through that as well. I keep touching on maybe you want to work as an EMT while you're taking the fire science program. And right now is a great time to get hired as an EMT. One of the local ambulance companies is offering a $7,500 hiring bonus, and you just have to commit to work for them for a year. So pretty lucrative opportunities there, but definitely something that's worth considering sometimes sooner rather than later if you need to be working while you're in school. Next, please. All right, so where do EMTs work? Fire departments, police departments, search and rescue, ski patrol, some ambulances, as I mentioned, emergency departments, and clinics. Again, as I mentioned, all firefighters in this region are EMTs. Some have moved on to additional training and are paramedics, which is an advanced level of medicine that they can perform. Next, please. All right, so an EMT, what do you learn? You learn about patient assessment, vital signs, CPR, so cardiac arrest management. I think some of you who are in high school, you've already learned that through your class as a requirement in high school, but we learn healthcare provider CPR and how to manage a cardiac arrest. You'll learn oxygen administration, medication administration. There's certain medications that EMTs can administer. We'll learn about bleeding control and shock management, some splinting, and then extrication extraction. If somebody's in a vehicle accident, if they're in a motor vehicle collision and injured, how do you take them out of that vehicle and how do you immobilize their spine? We can use a backboard or an extrication device. Next, please. All right, so questions I always get, well, can I do it? Can I sign up for this degree program? I would say 1,000,000% yes, right? We are so flexible with how little or how much time you want to take to do this credit. Most of our classes are online. We found that most of our students do want to learn online for that flexibility and schedule. Currently in the fire science program, about half of our students are young men and women who want to be firefighters, and the other half are already working as firefighters. It's a great way to just collaborate, find a mentor, learn about the job, learn tips on how to get hired. But because we have that big variety of students, we found that just locking them into, you have to be in class 5 mornings a week for 1 hour, or we're going to meet on every Wednesday morning, just doesn't work for our student population. So we are mostly focused online. Some of the classes will have a hybrid option. So you do some of the work through Canvas, you do some of it online, but then you'll just maybe meet on campus every other Tuesday, for example, or every other Wednesday. So it just depends on what that class is scheduled for, but you would get to choose, do you want the online only option, or do you want the hybrid option if it's available? I keep mentioning that being a firefighter is a fantastic job. The schedules that firefighters work in this region are amazing. So a firefighter works about a 24-hour schedule. I mean, that's a lot of hours, but certainly they have what they call quarters. So they in the fire hall, in the fire station, they have a kitchen and they have bedrooms and they have a living space, a TV room. And so when they're not training, which does happen a lot, and when they're not out working on 911 calls, they do have some downtime. And so if there's not a 911 emergency, if there's not a 911 call, they can sleep. So sometimes they sleep through the night, sometimes they work all night, but they do have that ability to come back and relax in kind of their second home. So at 24 hours in one shift, you really are only working 2 shifts a week, right? That's 48 hours a week. So we're working about 2 shifts a week. That's 9 days a month. And our firefighters starting out are making between $80,000 and $100,000 a year. So a lot of that's, that 100,000 is probably with some overtime, and there's a lot of overtime right now, but 2 days a week for $80,000 to $100,000 a year starting out is pretty remarkable. So definitely an amazing job and a great way to serve your community. So yes, I think you can do it. You can do the class. I'm certain that you can do the job, and we do want to help to support you in that. Next, please. All right, I think that's it. Now is the time I ask for questions, and I don't think we have any. Well, thank you, Spencer. And it turns out I really did need you today.
No problem.
I really appreciate you. Thanks.
Stop sharing. I will